Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. We are on the second day of summer and I am busy weeding away on our grass field here, field 44. Started this around about 6 AM, still going, still got quite a way to go as well. So this is why I wanted to get this kind of done nice and early. Because tomorrow, as we move into day 3, there will be another sort of transitional change and we will see more growth on our farm, not just on this grass field but on all of our fields. So today we're going to kind of continue on with the fertilizing work that we did yesterday. We're going to finish spraying off our fields, make sure that we've given them all that extra stage of fertilization. I've got to try and remember which fields still need to be done. I know I need to do field 48 and I think field 51 as well. I think those are still stage 1 right now. And then there's a couple that are stage 2 that I can take to stage 3, and then there's a couple that are stage 2 that I've just made to stage 2, so I can't. So I'm gonna have to remember which fields I can and can't work, and that could be fun. Trying to remember those fields. Drive all the way out to somewhere and find out that it's already been fertilized. I think I can remember where we need to go, and at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna have time. We can spray whatever needs to be sprayed tomorrow, you know, if we do miss one out. So as long as we get everything to at least stage 2 by today, we'll be good, I think. So you may notice actually on the mini-map we've got a little blue flashing great demand icon, and that's at green oak wool. So about 45 minutes ago a little great demand popped up for wool. Now we currently have 4 full pallets and a 5th pallet that is being made right now, and it's possible even that 5th pallet may have even ticked over into a 6th. I don't know if it has or not, but you know, we've got you know, between 4 and 5 complete pallets, and then you know, a partial pallet as well of wool that we currently have on hand. Now we have missed the very best window for selling, which is kind of mid-spring, and the price is now in its, you know, its downward arc. It's starting to decline, but it's still a reasonably strong price, and the great demand price at the moment is around 9,100. So when I finish this field here, we're going to be heading over to Manning's to collect our trailed mixer, which has arrived, and also a couple of conveyor belts which we're going to need for today. And once those are collected and we start getting everything set up that we need to do, we will be going back to the sheep farm with our gooseneck and our pickup truck, and we will be loading up those wool pallets and taking them down to Green Oak to sell, because we've been spending an awful lot of money, you know, and despite having an orchard that is generating $4,000 an hour at the moment, we are still spending a lot of money, and so we haven't really made much profit over the last couple of days. We haven't really recouped much money. We're still sitting at a debt of around $1.4 million, which is way too high. And tomorrow we're bringing in our cows, so we're going to be spending a substantial amount of money tomorrow, you know, bringing in some new livestock, probably upwards of 150,000. Now we are going to be doing a big sort of sell-off of some loose silage today, and we'll go through the plan for that in a little bit more detail very soon. But yeah, we're still spending a lot of money, and we're still struggling to get that debt down. So being able to sell, you know, 4 pallets and then a partial pallet, with the value of those pallets being at around 18,000 or so, or a little over 18,000 each, that means we can make a significant chunk of cash in really quickly in one fell swoop. That'll be helpful, and then combine that with the money we make from silage. That means that despite having a potentially big bill for cattle tomorrow, we can actually go ahead and maybe bring the debt down, or we could even invest in more cattle than I'd initially kind of planned for. I had planned to bring in 50. We could maybe look at bringing in a little bit more than 50. We'll see how the prices go tomorrow when we go off to the livestock auction, but that could be very helpful indeed, having that little bit of extra cash. You know, we're looking at around 85 90,000, I would imagine, maybe 90,000 in terms of money from the wall, when you consider the partial pallet on top of the 4 that we've got. Probably somewhere around about 90,000, I would think. That's going to be very, very helpful. That at $3,500 a cow, which is the kind of expected price for tomorrow, that's quite a few cows. That's quite a few cows. So yeah, I think we could do really, really well. You know, be interesting to see exactly where we stand financially once everything from today has kind of shaken out. See if we can make a big dent in that debt, even if it's just overnight, so we pay out a slightly lower loan fee overnight. But anyway, the plan for the silage now, obviously at the beginning of the last day of spring, before we went off to the land auction, we did a lot of mowing on this field and baled and wrapped a lot of grass, and those bales are sat just over there, as you can see, and they should be just about done fermenting, or right about now. They should all now be just about done. So what we need to do, oh look at that, the bunker, I was just about to talk about that as well. The bunker has just done fermenting too. What I did, if you remember, was I also made a little patch of loose silage at the BGA, just a very small bunker patch. It was just a few thousand litres that then got squashed and flattened very, very quickly and then covered with wrap. Now the reason why I did that is because you cannot dump loose silage into an empty bunker, but if you have a little bit of silage in a bunker, you can take silage from another bunker and transfer it in. Absolutely no problem at all. So we're going to open up the big bunker that we have here at the farm. You remember we did that last year with our corn chaff. We've got several 100,000 litres of loose silage already. We're going to sell all of that. All of that's going to get sold, or almost all of it. We need to keep a little bit in there so that again we can add to it. We're going to keep just a little bit, and then most of the silage, almost all of the silage that's in that bunker is going to get loaded into a trailer, and that's why we need the conveyor belts. And then that's going to get transferred over to the BGA into the bunker that's just finished fermenting, and we're going to build a big stockpile of silage there. And then once that's done, we're going to take the conveyors up to the BGA, and we're going to set up a conveyor system where it feeds the silage straight into the shredder, so we can sell all of that silage that's loose in one go and make potentially a very nice large amount of money there as well. Certainly a lot more than we would make if we sold those bales loose. That was kind of, we did the wrapped bale thing last year. This year it was always about trying to do loose silage, and we had this opportunity with all of these bales here to keep some wrapped and use those in making TMR tomorrow when we bring our livestock in, and the rest of it we can shred and then restock our BGA bunker here at the farm with some more loose silage. So that's what we're going to be doing here. That's our plan for today. We're going to finish weeding this field, get a worker up and running, spraying the last couple of fields that need to be sprayed. We're going to sell some wool, and we're going to do some work with silage in preparation for bringing in our dairy livestock herd tomorrow. So I just need to get this field finished, so I'm going to crack on with this, and once this is done I will see you in a little while. Just finishing off this field now, and it's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would, a lot longer than I'd hoped it would. It's taken me about 4 hours to do this field, maybe a little bit longer than that. So I think going forward I'm going to need a different roller. There is a different version of this roller, one without the seed tank. I think I might need one of those. I don't mind doing the rolling, I don't mind grabbing this and getting involved and doing the rolling work, but it takes so long to do each field that I think we might be better off getting something where we can hire a worker and then supplementing it with this roller to speed things up a bit, just so that it doesn't tie us to just doing this for half a day. which is essentially what it's done. As I say, we started at 6, it's 10. We've just finished that one field, that's it. So yeah, we need to change things up a little bit. There is a version of this roller that doesn't have a seed tank. It might be possible to use that with a worker. So we'll have to kind of check that out. Let's just give it a quick clean, put it away. You can see our rollers have aged a little bit now as well. No longer the big black shiny surface coating that we had. They've aged. They've been used a lot. Been out in the sun, and you can see that the metal is starting to show through now. I'll just give the tractor a quick clean as well. There we go. So let's drop this back in the shed, and then we'll head over, pick up our mixer and our conveyor belts. We'll start sorting out the silage, and then we're going to go and sell our wool. So here we are, arriving back at the farm with our mixer. There it is. I need to figure out where I'm going to store this. I think, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably store some of my stuff in here. So I've been toying with the idea of storing TMR loose on the ground in here. I don't know how well these walls are going to hold up in terms of, whether they've got tip collisions. But I'm thinking of actually creating a pile of loose TMR in that shed there, so that I've got like a food source. And then we can store the mixer kind of in front of the TMR, just like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll have to maybe try that out. Tip some TMR against the wall, see if it actually works. But it's time for us to kind of start working on our loose silage. So I need my front loader. There we go. I also need to drop off the forks. I need the weight. Where did I leave the weight? Where did I leave the weight? I honestly do not remember where I left my weight. Okay, that could be interesting. I'll find the weight. We'll get that loaded up, just so I've got a bit of counterbalance. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to be using the belts to load our truck. So I just need to move this out of the way for a second. Let's park that just there. Let's get the truck. And as I say, we're going to be transferring silage from our bunker here to the BGA. So let's get this started up. There we go, and these are the two belts that I've purchased as well. So it's another 20 grand on belts, 12 for the large conveyor, and then I think 8 for the, or maybe a little bit less than 8 for the small one. I think maybe 5 grand for the smaller one, for the pickup one here. So let's open up the bunker. There we go. I need to get wrong belt. Get that folded. Let's position that about there. We need to raise this belt up, and we're going to need to extend it as well, because the side of our boss trailer is pretty high. So I'm going to need to extend it out a bit, just to give me a bit more height clearance like that. And then obviously there's the distance thing as well. I might not have the reach. Don't want to get the truck actually into the bunker. I just want to park at the edge of the bunker kind of thing. There we go. So let's roughly kind of lined up. And how far does that stick out the back? Is that enough? Yeah, that's enough clearance. Excellent. And the bucket is simply so that we can go in and we can just scoop bits up that we need to. So we hopefully won't need to use the Puma for this. So while that's going on, I'm going to send a worker out. Just turn the beacons off on my tractor there. I'm going to send a worker out in the sprayer to go and spray some fields. We need to spray fields 48 and 51. They are both at stage 1 still. So we'll get both of those two sprayed, and then once the trailer is full, we'll take that to the BGA and we'll unload it into our bunker of small amount of silage there, so we can transfer it across. Oh, this thing's empty. I'm going to have to give it a refill and probably top the fuel tank up as well. And once we've done the transfer, we'll keep doing that until we've emptied the bunker, and then we'll transfer the belts over to the BGA and we will sell a load of silage. So here we are arriving at the BGA with our first load of silage. So we could just tip this directly into the shredder, but we will lose money if we continue to keep doing that, because we're going to have a lot of trailers worth of silage to move. So what we're going to do instead is open up the bunker just here. And now what I can do is I can... This thing turns itself off automatically. What I can do now is I can add silage to that bunker. So I'm going to create a nice big pile of silage just here. I start about here. I'm going to set my cruise control to 0. And now I can tip my silage into this bunker because we already have silage in here. So I'm not tipping a new product in, I'm adding to an existing supply that's already in the bunker. That's the kind of workaround to stop you, so that you can transfer silage from bunker to bunker. You know, you can't do it with an empty one, but something that's got silage in, you absolutely can. And once we've got our nice little stockpile of silage just here, we'll then bring the conveyors up and we'll get that continuous tip going. We're probably going to need to lease an extension. And I realised, I was looking for my weight, I realised why I couldn't find my weight. I actually took it down to the orchard and it's hooked up to the back of my 1455 to give me counterbalance for when I'm shoveling manure. So I've spoken to Sam, he's going to lease me a weight from the store. He's also trying to source an extender conveyor for me, so I'll have that when I need that. There we go, back up to road speed. So I'll hopefully have that by the time I've finished moving all my silage. That'll be arrived and ready for me at the store. That'll be on a lease as well. We need to keep our other two belts, but the extender we're just going to lease for now. And I will continue to kind of just shuttle back and forth now, running some silage and keeping an eye on my worker with the sprayer. And once we've got it all done, then we'll start to sell our silage. It's going to take a little while for that trailer to refill, so what we're also going to do is we're going to start getting ready to go and sell our wool. So you can see I've got my truck here, and whereas we couldn't really fit the Bandit in the garage because the gooseneck is a little bit shorter, this is going to be the new home for the gooseneck trailer, and that way, you know, we have it with the pickup at all times. There we go. So if we need to go over to the sheep farm, we can use it there. If we need to take it to the store, we don't have to go and collect it from the sheep farm and take a detour. We can just go straight there. And if we need to transfer something around the farm, we don't need to go and collect it and bring it back and then do the transfer and then go and drop it off again. It's always going to live here in the garage. It just seems to me to be the logical place to store it. So let's make our way over to the sheep farm. We'll go load up with those wool pallets, take them over to Green Oak, and see if we can actually make a substantially nice sum of money. I'm hoping for 90,000. Maybe if we're really, really lucky, we might get close to sort of towards 100,000. I'm not sure what the state of our 5th pallet is like at the moment, so I guess we'll find that out when we get to the farm. And as we arrive here at the sheep farm, we will pull up and we will check the stats, see if we need to give them any more food, any more water. We might possibly need to do that. Let's see. But I need to turn around just to make it a little bit easier on loading. So let's... Oops, turned a little bit too tight there. Let's just spin around in the driveway. Back the trailer up. There we go. And to make it easier and more stable for loading, we'll detach as well. So let's take a look at our animals. Oh yes, they are going to need another bale probably by the end of the day. So we'll give them a quick tidy up, we'll give them another bale. And we'll give them a top up and water as well, seeing as we're here. We might as well. It just seems rude not to. And then once we've done all that, we will... running low on bales. Gonna have to make some more hay bales, I think. I have been warming up to the idea of using that sort of strip of grass behind some of our fields. It's enough to make just enough bales, I think, to kind of cover our food requirements for the sheep. We've got enough for the cows, but we will be doing a big a hay bale harvest later in the year, and I'm wedged in the ground. Oh no! There we go. It's got caught. There we go. Waste not, want not. Let's get that little extra 320 litres of grass. Tip that in. Could make all the difference. I have forgotten about my sheep before. So it could be that those 320 litres of grass are the difference between sheep just having enough food by the time I get here and going hungry and starting to lose health. It wouldn't be the first time that we've done that on Lone Oak. I am sad to say. Let's get this one bale here on the side. Forks are a little low. There we go. Excellent stuff. So now we need the pallets. I need the pallet forks so we can grab those pallets of wool, get them onto the back of our trailer there. And then we can take those down to Green Oak and sell them. And this is where I found these forks to be a bit iffy. I know we were talking about this briefly when I was loading pallets of fertilizer, but when it comes to wool pallets, I've found that they are a little bit more temperamental. And I need to do the water, but I want to get the wool pallets out of the way first, just so it's one less thing to kind of knock out of position. I've sometimes found that the pallets can get stuck on the forks and be really tricky to come off. They're not too bad. They're certainly a lot better than not skid steer, these are skid steers. They're certainly a lot better than low loader pallet forks. Those are, telehandler pallet forks. Those are the worst. These aren't too bad. Actually, these have worked really smoothly. Much better than my last experience doing this. Maybe I was just thinking of telehandler forks and not skid steer forks. I remember having all sorts of issues when I was loading pallets of wool on Mustang Valley on Big Bud Farm. These actually seem to be working really smoothly, and these are the JCB ones because obviously there aren't any for the Bobcat. So, but yeah, the JCB ones are compatible. There we go. Let's get those strapped down. Get the next two. I'm not sure whether to actually take the partial one as well. I think what I'll do is I'll leave the partial, just so we've got a head start on wool for next year. And we'll take these two full ones. So we'll just take 4 pallets down, I think. We'll leave that partial pallet there. It's not quite 50% yet. If it was over 50%, there'd be a third bale inside the trailer, and there isn't. So it's somewhere between 25 and 50% full. And we'll just leave that there, continuing to collect. And we'll just take these 4 full pallets down. That's something else we could do with our extra money, is we could maybe look at increasing the size of our herd of sheep a little bit. I think, again, we've missed the window on best price for sheep. Let's have a look. Oh no, best window is still to come. So we could add a load of sheep in autumn. Now, by then, we'll have generated a nice little extra bit of cash, and we'll have sold our soybean. The big soybean sale goes off tomorrow, hopefully. The price is definitely improving. I think it's around 2,100 per 1,000 litres now. And we had 19 on that great demand a couple of days ago, if you remember. The price is definitely going up. So be very interested to see just how much we can get for those soybeans. We've got 4 trailers worth to sell tomorrow. So that'll be 2 per sell point, I think. Just got to hope that the market price doesn't tank as soon as it comes to selling. It'll still be higher than it is today, but it just won't be as much as we could have got. That would be heartbreaking if that was the case, but we are, on to make a substantial amount of money tomorrow from our soybean sale, and then next year, who knows, with an even greater amount of soybean, that could be a staggering amount. We could be talking close to 500,000 in soybean next year. Right. Before we disappear, we do need to do the water. And I seem to remember we pretty much drained the tank last time, so we'll give that a top up. Just get that last little bit out. There we go. Top up our tank. And this is why we this here is exactly why we didn't need to keep the 1455 at this farm, where it was hardly being used. We could press it into service at the orchard, where it was far more effective. Oh, I actually need to use that, don't I? There we go. But yeah, we could just use the pickup truck here to move the water trailer around. It just made a lot more sense to do that. So there we go. So let's get the supports folded up and let's make our way over to Green Oak. Ah, there we go. Not quite as much as I was hoping. 73,000. Did the price dip? No, it's still 9139. Must have been that one of those pallets wasn't full then. That's the only thing I can think of. I'll have to check back and see if I was actually carrying 4 full pallets. It might be I knocked one of those pallets out of alignment and it started another one. So slightly disappointed that we didn't get close to 90 there, but we made enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head back to the store, and because we've got a big day of spraying, I'm going to, lined up tomorrow when all our crops kind of come through, as well as doing our soybean sale. Try not to speed. A bit naughty there. We're going to head back to the store, going to load up on some liquid fertilizer pallets. We only took 8 last time. We're going to go with more than that this time. And we'll get those prepped and ready so we have a mobile refill point around our fields tomorrow. Okay, let's start loading up some pallets. I haven't neglected the silage transition. That is still happening. I've got one of my boys at the farm running the truck back and forth whenever it's full. It's allowing me to concentrate on doing this. But the sprayer has now finished. There is a lot of work that I kind of need to do manually on field 48. So the worker's done a good chunk of that field for me, as well as field 51. And then I'll need to kind of go in and finish that field off. Let's try and get as close as we can to the edge here, because we've got 8 pallets to load up this time. We burnt through 4. Here we go, look. This is the problem I was talking about with these forks. They tend to get wedged a little bit. Let's try that again. And I'm knocking the trailer. This is not going as smoothly as I would like, but yeah, we're taking 8 pallets this time because we burnt through 4 pallets way too quickly last time. Come on, come off the forks. There we go. So I figure 8, considering how many fields, even if we don't do all of our fields tomorrow, because we are going to be busy with our soybean sell-off, don't forget. Even if we don't get all of the fields done, we're still going to have, the day 4 to finish the spraying off as well. We're still going to need to go out into the fields with our sprayer on location, and it's a long, slow journey back to the farm every time we run out of those 3,250 litres in the tank. So by taking 8 of these pallets out, I'm hoping I can squeeze 8 on a single layer. I might have to double up a couple of layers. By taking 8 pallets back with us, it means that we can stay out in the field longer before we have to go back to the farm. There we go, that's the first 2. Let's get those strapped on. I think it's going to be easier if I attack them this way. They seem to be a little bit more receptive. I hate the way these things can sometimes, when you turn a corner and you kind of come to a stop, the minute you start backing up, you just keep going in the same direction, but in reverse. It makes it a little bit tricky sometimes to get lined up. Alright, that's 3 pallets. And that's halfway down the trailer. It's going to be tight, but I think we can do it. I think we can get 8 pallets on there. And if necessary, I can always, as I say, double stack. 1 layer, to get the last 2 on if necessary. But I'm hoping that won't be required. Nice and smoothly on. Let's see if I can actually get this to come off the forks. There we go. And there's the next 2 pallets. Right, I'm going to carry on doing this, and I'll see you when it's done. So this is trailer number 4. And I think we've still got at least 2 trailers worth to bring up as well. Let's get lined up. Probably a bit too... possibly a bit too far forward for this. We'll see. Might be able to pull this off. I mean, if we spill out the front a bit, it's not a problem. Yeah, that nice, steady, controlled tip. Alright, back to the farm we go for the next couple of trailers worth. So while the truck is refilling, let's take a quick look at market prices. We need to see A, how much our silage is going to go for, and B, we need to get a kind of an indicator of the prices for soybean as well. So silage... it's actually going down at the moment. Wouldn't you know it? 442 and falling. That's a bit disappointing. It is actually a little bit higher at the barn, but we're just going to sell it at the BGA because we want the digestate as well. So we'll make a little bit less. It will be only a little bit less, but we will save a ton of money in terms of fertilizer costs by getting all that digestate. Let's take a look at the current market prices. So what time is it? It is nearly 3:45 in the afternoon, and I'm slightly worried because that looks to be like a high spot price at Agri XJS of 2330 and 2314, and they're falling, and they're not even green prices. And the question is, if they're going to fall, how long are they going to stay fallen for, and are they going to come back up in time for us to sell when the market's good? Tomorrow is absolutely our only real window to sell our soybean. So we look at the crop price here. You can see, even though the predicted prices are wrong, as they always are, you get the idea of where the prices are going to be in terms of jumping up or down each day. And tomorrow is a big step. It's not like a little step like with canola. It's going to be a little step up, sorry, sunflowers, a little step up. It's a big step up in price, so probably going to be at least an extra $100, maybe even more per 1,000 litres. That's a big jump. You know, and if the market's at its absolute best when that comes in, you're probably talking $200, maybe even $300 more than it currently is. That's a lot, you know, and just $200 per 1,000 litres when we have 250,000 litres adds up very quickly. So tomorrow, whatever happens, even if the prices hit rock bottom tomorrow, they will still be higher than they are now because of that big step. If it was a small step, I would be panicking right now and I would probably be rushing my soybean to market. If it was a step like that with the sunflowers, I'd be panicking. Prices aren't great. They're starting to fall. Let's rush everything to market right now. But with that big step in price coming tomorrow, I think I'm pretty confident, not 100% confident, because obviously I'm not psychic, I can't see into the future, but I'm pretty confident that even if the prices are rock bottom tomorrow, which the way the market looks like it's going at the moment, they may well be, they should still be higher than they are right now. So yeah, we may hold off until the second half of the day. We may even sell right at the end of the day, depending on how the markets are reacting. And it's possible I may have to call in another truck to help us deliver and just take everything. You know, just do one trip to each sell point and do 2 trailers worth per sell point. I don't know if I really want to do that. Could be a little expensive for us bringing in another truck just for that, but we'll see how the market price goes. So yeah, the rest of the day we've got the main part of the jobs to do. I still need to finish off spraying field 48, so you can see the worker's done some of the field for me. I've got a little patch just here that needs to be done, and I've got this patch just here, and then this section here, which the worker is going to really struggle with. I'll do that manually, and I'll do that before we turn in for the night. But apart from that, field 45 needs spraying. We might be able to do that today. Our corn, we sprayed that. That should be ready to be sprayed as well. We can probably do that tomorrow. We can do fields 50, won't be ready until it hits its next transition. So actually, yeah, tomorrow is the start of a new transition, won't it be? So yeah, we can spray that tomorrow as well. And then beyond that, that's pretty much it. We'll finish off field 48, and then we've got 5, 6, 45, 50, and then 48 and 51, which we'll spray again tomorrow or the day after, day 4. And we need to weed the grass on 24 as well, a second time. And that's all of our fields then prepped, and we just got to let them grow. So our trailer is full. Let's head back to the BGA. Let's go tip this off and come back and continue to keep running the silage, and then we will spend the evening selling silage at the BGA. Just hopefully the price won't drop too much lower than it already is. We have a little bit of silage left in the bunker at the farm, and that's where we're going to leave it. So this is the final trailer that we're bringing up. Now, I have already been able to get hold of the belts and got those set up. Obviously, Mallings is now closed, so it has gone 6 o'clock. So we had to make sure that those were in place before Mallings closed. And you can see I've put one belt in place already. And what I'm going to try and do with this tip here is I'm actually going to try and drive up the silage. This could be, this could be a bit iffy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up there. I just want to kind of create a nice little mountain at this end here. Let's try going this way. If I can kind of tip like this. And basically what I'm going to be doing is taking from the front and then using the leveler. I was going to use initially the bucket with the front loader, but I decided to use the leveler instead. I figured I could probably move the silage a bit quicker using that. I'm going to use that sort of leveling blade that we've got, from our main farm. I brought that up instead. You can see I've got the rear weight attached for a little bit of extra balance, because we'll potentially have 6,000 litres, attached to our blade as we're doing this. And there we go. So, move the truck out of the way. There we go. Now what I do want to do, because I don't want this to stop, start, sell, is I'm just going to raise the belt up a bit. Just going to pull the blade in, or the belt in a bit, like that. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this around. And this is where I've got to be really careful so I don't start picking up chaff. So I'm going to attack it from this way, so that if it starts picking up anything, it'll start picking up silage first. We'll get that in place. There we go. So we've got silage on the blade. On the, I keep calling them these blades. I don't know why. Oh, no, I can go around the back because I haven't extended the belt yet. I need to get this positioned as best I can. It's awkward when the steering wheel just gets lifted off the top like that. Ah, damn it. That's what I didn't want to happen. That little switch. Okay, it's kind of counteracted it. Good. Right, it's slightly offline, but it works. I am slightly worried we're a little too close. I need to angle this a bit more, I think. I need to reposition this a bit better. Oh, now I've got it wedged. There we go. Stop there. Actually gives me a little bit more room to manoeuvre like that. That's probably better that I've moved the belt forward a touch. I want to angle away, you see, so I don't start picking up chaff through the wall of the bunker partway through this. So if I angle away, it should stick to silage. There we go. It looks relatively well lined up. Let's just square it up a bit better. There we go, that's good. So we are ready. Oh, I need to move this round first before I extend the belt, otherwise it's going to get trapped. I have to drive over that little bit of concrete there. There we go. It's a little rough, but we're through. Okay, so I need this to basically start pushing the silage towards the conveyor. So let's extend the conveyor and start selling some silage. There we go. What's our market price looking like at the moment? And we know it was dropping. Oh, it's stabilised at 442. That's not too bad. I'm happy with that. Just a quick check on our soybean price. Agri XJS is still as it is. That means I didn't want to do that. That means it's going to fall later. You can see Lone Wolf is falling. So there is a risk that we're going to end up with a rock bottom price when we come to sell our soybean tomorrow. I really hope that we're not going to kind of get screwed a little bit price wise, but it looks like it's going to happen. Ah, damn it, I just deleted some silage by mistake. There we go. We just deleted a chunk of silage out the back of the bunker there. That wasn't so clever. We're just going to push this forward so that the belt never runs dry, and that way all of the silage that we sell will all go through at 442. You know, as long as the stream of silage doesn't break, then it'll all go through at 442 and we won't crash the market until we're done selling all of this silage. It's not a massive amount. We've made 6 trips, and that was 65,000 litres per trip, so plus a few extra. No, 7 trips. We made 7 trips. So we're talking probably in the region of around 460, 470,000 in total in litres of silage to put through the belts. That's not a bad amount, so we should make a pretty decent amount of money here. And this is going to fund our purchasing of cows tomorrow, because if the market is rock bottom at the start of the day, we can't immediately rush some soybean to market and then watch the price go up as the day continues, and curse ourselves for being impatient. So we won't have, you know, the soybean money until towards the end of the day, and obviously we're going to need that to pay for the cows before then. So that's, you know, that's what this little silage sell-off is for. This is why we made all those silage bales on the last day of spring, so that we would have silage to sell to pay for the cows and the mixer and any other equipment we needed to bring in, not hit our, you know, absolute credit limit of 1.5 million, which we did come very close to doing. And then we could then start to recoup it later with, you know, the soybean money. So it was a lifeline, essentially. It's what's kept us solvent, kept us able to stay on track business-wise, and keep those plans for dairy and livestock alive without those silage bales, which we will then, you know, some will just tip straight into the mixer for, you know, TMR mix. Some will shred and put back into the bunker at the farm, so we have a stockpile of silage at the farm. But we're going to make probably a very big batch of TMR and just store it in the shed by the cows. And the more money we can make today, the more money we can spend on livestock tomorrow. without, you know, kind of bankrupting ourselves. So I'm going to keep shoveling away like this, and I'll show you a couple of little bits of progress. And then once this is done, we'll see how much money we've got. I will then sort of do that little spray job to finish the day off, but that'll probably happen off camera. I will see you as we make a big dent into this silage. We just passed the magic number. I've been doing some calculations in my head, and I think the price for cows tomorrow is going to be 3,600. That's generally, in my experience with seasons, that is the price that you get when it's at its absolute lowest, $3,600 per cow. So, going off a price of $3,600 per cow, to bring in the 50 that I need, or that I want, I need $180,000, and we have just passed that little milestone. We're now at 185. That's absolutely fantastic. So now we're kind of in the realm of profit. Anything now we make can either go towards additional animals, or it can just go towards paying off the debts on the farm. And I will probably go with additional animals, so that we generate more milk money, and you know, it'll cost us more initially, but in the long run it'll work out better. It'll produce more silage, more slurry, more manure. We can stop having to buy manure from the orchard, you know, in such, you know, for the orchard in such quantities, because we'll be producing our own. We'll be able to stop relying so much on just digestate, because we'll start producing more slurry ourselves. So we'll be able to fertilize our fields for free better as well. Yeah, we stand to be, you know, in a very strong position indeed, because we've still got, as you can see, quite a bit of silage left to sell. So I'm just trying to now kind of push this into the path of the belt a bit. It's a little bit too spaced out on the on this left hand side, but still a fair amount of silage left to go in this bunker. Let's see, how much do we have left in here? We still have 214,000 litres in here, so a good amount of silage still to go. Well, I accidentally nudged the belt as I was trying to clear away the stuff that was piling up around there. But we sold almost all of the silage there, and you can see we sold it for 172,295. What has that done to the price? It's crashed it a bit. It's now 366. I will still sell the last of this, I think. I'm kind of wedged on the belt behind now, so I need to move that. Just reposition this. I'll still sell the last of this bit, but you know, we've got enough money now, I'm pretty sure, to be able to bring in, say, 75 cows. You know, we would have needed, let's see, 20 cows. Actually, no, maybe not. We've gained about an extra 100,000 or 97,000 with this little bit extra here. We'll clear, you know, what we need to bring in 75 cows. So that's excellent. That means we can bring in additional dairy livestock. We can produce more slurry, more manure, and generally, you know, more milk money as well. Our cows are going to be very profitable for us going forward, and we've got plenty of bales to be able to make TMR. We're only a day away from the grass being ready to be cut again. That'll happen tomorrow, so we could even start making some hay tomorrow as well. Really, really, good stuff to do tomorrow while we're waiting for the markets to adjust for our soybean sell-off. That is going to be the really big event tomorrow. Is at some point tomorrow we are selling all 247,000 litres of our soybeans, so do come back for that. That's for me though. That's it for now. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with another episode of Lone Oak very soon.